I know when all of you look at me, you see a high caliber, top tier, top shelf athletic specimen the likes of which science can't fully explain yet. Just a succulent slab of meat, an imposing frame that's been blessed by the gods at Mount Olympus. So naturally, this leads people to question, what sport do I play? Because obviously, you're not packing puppies like these without letting them off the leash to play a little bit in a high octane competition. And the sport that I play actually surprises people for some reason, which I don't fully understand because the answer is basketball. I don't know what's so shocking about that. If I had to spitball a guess, it might be because I'm 5'6", so a little on the shorter side, and basketball's typically thought of as a tall person sport. So people will raise an eyebrow and ask if I'm joking, like, there's no way you play basketball at 5'6", you could literally wipe the team's ass standing up. Like, what do? Just dry their sweat? And you're right, there's a lot of basketball players I legitimately could suckle the teat of while I'm fully standing, but it doesn't matter. Because I have a little something called technique and fundamentals, damn it. I'm out there proving that even at 5'6", you can be an elite basketball player. The thing is, I've played basketball for pretty much my entire life, but over the last 9 years, I got hit with a serious case of old as fucking lazy bone-itis. So those two, in conjunction with one another, just caused me to kind of drop it. So I took about 9 years off from basketball, but as most of you know, over the last 3 or 4 months, we've all been getting back into playing pickup games every Thursday. We have a great group of guys. We usually get like 15 or so bodies out there, and we just go hog wild trying to remember how beautiful the game of basketball can be, trying to reclaim our former glory on the court. And that brings me to a promise that I made a few times on stream but still haven't fulfilled. I said that eventually we'd start streaming our basketball games, or at the very least filming them for basketball content, because we do think it'd be hype, especially if we could get other creators out there and just do 5v5, the Moist Squad versus whoever else wants to play. We think that'd be really fun, but just never really bothered to set up the cameras to do that yet, especially because a lot of us haven't played in a while, and it might be a little embarrassing to be caught with your pants down and making a fool of yourself out there, so we've just been focusing on getting better and just having fun. But tonight, decided to film a couple of our games. We didn't play as much as we normally do because it's Florida, and today was a 115 degree heat index with humidity that was so fucking thick and brutal it could drown a fish. So we didn't play mini games tonight. It's an outside court. Also, we only set up one camera on one hoop because if we did another one on the other side with the direct sunlight on it, it would have melted the camera, which is something we actually had happen like a month ago. So it's not the best footage. So I'm not going to just drop half of the game. And also, we weren't exactly moving and grooving the way we normally do because of how brutal the weather conditions were tonight. We were moving pretty slow up and down the court. So I'm just going to show you a bit of my highlight reel from our game here. You know, just to prove that I do actually play and I'm not the worst player of all time. I'll just make you a quick believer in the Charles White magic. And then I want to get into a couple of our plans because we do have some wacky ideas for basketball related shit down the line. But you know what's better than a great offense? An even better defense, and I lock that shit down sometimes. Unfortunately, Matt let me down on the fast break, ruining my assist, so I didn't get my double-double I was looking for this time around, but it is what it is. Now, this is one of the very few misses Matt had during the game. I don't want him to think that I'm doing him dirty by only showing the lowlights, so I'll go ahead and show you what happened in the previous few possessions that we had leading up to that fast break. Now, before diving into like some plans we have for basketball content in the future, I do want to mention that we actually have an extremely talented group of guys that play basketball with us every week. It's super fucking fun. Like, for example, Matt. Matt initially didn't even go to college because he was too busy pursuing a professional basketball career until an injury took that dream away from him. Then he reluctantly went to college. Another player that we have come out every Thursday, his name's Tori. Tori, I think, was a D2 high-level basketball player. I can't remember if it was D1 or D2, but he did play college ball. We also have Antron out there, who was a professional football player, but also plays basketball. Like, we have a very strong group of guys, and it's a lot of fun because it's all different ranges of talent. We have people like that, and then people like me. A high school basketball player who hasn't really touched the rock in quite some time. But it feels good to be back. So, the plans for basketball are more than just like occasional basketball related content. We actually do have like a goal in mind. And it's something we only just recently learned about and are kind of striving for. Not really putting a whole lot of eggs in the basket for it, but it's a really fun dream. I don't know how many of you know about this, but ESPN actually runs an annual tournament called the Basketball Tournament, where it's an open tournament, $1 million competition. And anyone can join. I think it's vote-based. I'm not entirely sure exactly how it works. But it just recently wrapped up, but we are getting prepared for the next time around to see if there's any chance that we can get out there and just get fucking stumped. The talent on this circuit here is literally like either retired professionals or people that played college basketball like Syracuse and didn't quite make it to the NBA. I think like one of the number one players in this tournament last time was Jimmer Fredette. So, you know, I wouldn't say that any of us are bad at basketball, but I also think there's a huge discrepancy between us and Jimmer Fredette. But, you know, you give us enough time in the hyperbolic chamber, and you never know what we might be able to accomplish. So we think it'd be like a fun goal to somehow enter into this tournament. We don't know all of the rules and regulations around it, but it would be really hype. But regardless, that's just kind of like a pie-in-the-sky kind of wild idea that we think would be enjoyable with basketball down the line. But in the meantime, we'll probably stick with just filming the occasional pickup game now and then, and if any creators ever think it'd be fun to play us 5v5, we could definitely work on setting something like that up, because we do think that would be enjoyable shit too. So yeah, this was just me fulfilling a promise I've made on stream a couple times where I said we'd film some of the games, and I only partially fulfilled that promise because we filmed a game, basically. Well, we filmed like 2 games, but the first one it was very, very slow moving, so didn't want anyone seeing any of that footage. And since we only filmed 1 hoop, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to just post this game in its entirety either, because then you couldn't see the other team. Definitely pretty scuffed, but in the future we will make it much better. This, I really just wanted to get out here to confirm that we will do basketball stuff, because I've been getting asked a lot about it recently because I've been talking about it so much recently. So yeah, that's really about it. Hopefully I've made you a believer that I'm actually not dog shit at basketball, but there's definitely room for improvement. That's for sure. That's about it. See ya.